What's going on, friends? I thought I'd make another video and just to, chat. This is my sort of vlog style YouTube channel right now. And it's been, I've been getting a few more comments, and I thought maybe, I make another video to discuss, what it's like right now out there. It's murky out there, it's frustrating. There's a lot of things going on. Especially if you're working, and you're being asked to come in the office more and more, and it's frustrating, right? And I got this one comment like back in the day it was not like this. And why is it like this now? Yeah, it's true, but back in the day, 18th, 19th century industrial revolution, you know, things were different. That's when things started to be, put into factories for mass production. We got introduced to, the tasks that were, mind numbing, the repetitive mind numbing tasks. The labor conditions were harsh. Things were different back then. Yeah. And you can't really compare them to now. The population has grown exponentially over the last, few hundred years. Think about post World War now, post World War II, 20th century now, the rise of the economic growth and everything like that. It was the introduction to the 8-hour workday, and the workers' rights movement. Formation of union labors was starting, and then late in the 20th century now, um, so like late 1900s, automation introduced a decline of manufacturing jobs now. The rise of the information age was starting. So that it changed things, right? It's not the same as it was today. Increased demand for specialized skills and education were needed now, right? So it wasn't just factory labor work, anyone can do it, it was more specialized. Um, Fast forward a little bit now, into the late 80s, 90s, even like the late 70s a little bit. It was the digital age, especially in the late 90s, computers and internet made people more and more connected in the world. Before we weren't connected. Take a second to like breathe that in for a second. Like, we live in a world where we're so connected today than we were ever before. you know Before, people were riding around in horses and stuff, and now we are we're flying jets. We're Well, I'm not flying a jet, but people are flying in jets, driving electric cars. They're the things have changed, and people don't stop to think like, yes, we're human beings, but imagine if you were born 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Think about how your life would have been. you know it's 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 crazy to think about. You didn't choose to be born in this era, but here we are, and you got to make the best of it. Just like the people made the best of it back then. You got to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got to pick yourself up. You got to say, no one's going to come and rescue me. My boss isn't going to give me the salary I want ever. That's not going to happen. You're worth more than you think, and they're never going to pay you for that. So you really, really got to put yourself in the mindset that I live in this time where all of this stuff is available to me right now, and uh, it wasn't even available like 10 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, right? Take advantage of it. Learn. You know, during the time of the digital age in the late 20th century, the emergence of remote work started. Flexible schedules started. The gig economy started. Freelancing started. That wasn't a thing before. And now the current workforce challenges are things like we're always on, and that's the culture. We always need to be on our phones. We always need to be connected, and we're just way too connected now. Job insecurity is on the rise. Mental health concerns have gone through the roof. And there's just, more call for better work life balance. But Not a lot of people are seeing that. We're just numbers. We are numbers, right? Unfortunately. And then COVID came around, right? 2019 to 2023, 22, 23, 3 years of that, right? Acceleration of work, remote trends took off, right? We could sustain our job at the same time, finish all our projects, help a company grow. Um, Companies started to reevaluate the, the the office space. Do we actually need it, rather than do we want it? And I feel like a lot of companies out there, a lot of big brands are out there, are just sticking to we want versus we need, and they're not thinking about, you know, adapting. And that's causing a lot of problems for, smaller companies, mid-sized companies, right? They're just following the big boys and sorry, the big brands, right? And instead of saying, like, maybe we can sustain like this, they're falling into the trap of, following Twitter, for example. They cut down their workforce by 80%, and they're following, and rather than using their own minds. It's putting a strain on mental health due to the pandemic impact of work now, you know? Future of work, what does that look like? I don't know, but obviously AI has emerged, and continued automation is going to be higher than it's ever been now. Um, Emphasis on lifelong learning and adaptability is now a priority for you. It's a priority for me. It's a priority for all of us. If we don't learn today's technology, we're going to be left behind. And I know you probably heard me say that a couple of times, but I read a great headline from an MIT professor that said, like, artificial intelligence is just going to turbocharge the winners in this world. It's true. So if you've been sitting on ideas for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, now's the time to bring it to life. What are you waiting for? You wouldn't have had this opportunity 50, 100 years ago, right? You have it now. Do it. um, right now, advocacy, workers' rights, fair wages, that's out the window. The work structure that you would like, if you would like 4 days a week, out the window, right? Like, companies are exploring it, but are they going to implement it? No, I don't. I don't see that for a while. And if they do, it's going to take a while until, like, it starts, to become a normal. Right now, strategies for a healthy workforce are so low, and there's such a, like, high demand for employees and workers like you and I, but they aren't implemented, right? And wouldn't it be nice if your promotion was based on mental health initiatives in the workplace, right? We live in a world where it's backwards right now. um it's backwards, and I just wanted to have that conversation with you, and say that I'm here for you. Like, if you want to leave some comments about, like, what you're experiencing, what you're going through, I'd love to read your comments and respond to you and tell you that I'm here, I hear you, I'm listening. um and if there's any ideas I can provide you that will help you and set you up for something, whether it's a course, whether it's connecting you to someone, or whether it's just giving you an idea, or you know the back and forth banter, please leave me a comment on this YouTube channel. People have already started leaving me comments, which is why I'm making this other video here. And if there's something on your mind about the current state of our world, the future state of our world, what the next 5, 10, 20 years is going to look like for yourself, and you're wondering, how can I get started on anything? I might not have the answer for you, but I can definitely help guide you as best as I can. So that's all. like that headline said, in today's world, those who adapt, and right now adapt to artificial intelligence, are going to turbocharge their life, their future, their careers, everything. Right? So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to get started. Don't be afraid to, just play around with AI right now, and just have fun, because there's not a lot of fun in this world right now. I understand what you're going through. Trust me, I do. I live in Ontario, Canada, and you know, last night I went out to buy a can of soup. Soup normally costs like, I don't know, $1.79, $1.99. A can of soup yesterday cost me almost $5. Yeah, I know what you're going through, people. Leave me a comment below and let's talk more about this. I appreciate you listening in. And if you've listened all the way down to this part of the video, I appreciate you. Please, subscribe to this channel. Let's grow together and build an audience together. I appreciate you. Take care.